Hello and welcome to the webinar. I am your host and facilitator, Sterling McKinley, and this webinar is presented by the U.S. Black Chambers and the good folks at Grow with Google. So once again, thank you for being here for this webinar. I'm so glad you taking time of your day to be with me. And today we're talking about how you can use all the tools that Google offers to grow your business. So let's go ahead and get started. So you might be asking yourself, what is the Grow with Google program? That is a great question. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. So Group with Google is a program started, I believe, in 2017. And the whole point of the program is to ensure that everybody has opportunities to technology. As you know, Google has so many tools, so many products. This program is going to teach you how to use all those tools to what? Grow your business. And that's so important because once again, we're in this time with technology and all these tools, but the key is to find out how you can use these tools to grow your business. So if you're ready to get started, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to type in the comment box, type in let's go. If you're ready to get started, type in the chat box, let's go, and we'll get started. We have a comment here. Says hello, Sterling. Hey, hello. I'm glad you're on today's webinar. I'm hoping that I answer all your questions. Anybody else want to check in? We have one more comment. It says, "Let's go." All right, I appreciate that. Anybody else want to check in real quick? Okay, here we go. The right choice, financial tech services. Let's go. All right. All right, sounds good. So let's get started. Oh, Marlon, I remember you from last webinar. So thanks again, Marlene Green, checking in again. Let's go. So, all right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's find out more about digital marketing. So today's webinar is entitled "Elevate Your Brand." And once again, it's all about how you can use all the tools that Google offers to elevate your brand. And elevate your brand, what does that mean? That means about being seen by your customers, having a presence online, a presence on Google. So when customers go to find you, they can find your business and do more business with you. And you see the subtitle here. It says how Black-owned businesses can thrive post-COVID. That's also a key point I want to talk about today because now I believe times have changed, and I want to make sure you prepare for that. So today's quick agenda, we have about an hour. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to prepare for the new normal of business. And what does that mean? I'm going to talk about how I think the pandemic has changed everything. Now it's more important than ever that your business is digital savvy and has digital skills. So we're going to talk about that. Next, we're going to talk about why is it so important to be found on Google. Google is the number one search engine in the world. It's the most valuable piece of digital real estate. So as a business owner, you have to be found on Google. Next, we're going to do activity. So in this activity, I want you to kind of get inside your customer's head. We're going to do a search for your business and we're going to see what comes up. To close it out, we're going to have a recap. I'm going to share some resources and I'm also going to give you some links and also tell you how you can take advantage of upcoming trainings. All right, so let's take a deep breath here. We're starting to get out of COVID, hopefully. Numbers are rising here and there, but things are a lot better than they were now, are now than they were a few years ago. So back in 2020, over 41% of Black-owned companies shut down. 41%, that's a huge number. And why did that happen? I believe companies go out of business for a lot of reasons, but primarily I believe companies go out of business for a lack of marketing, for not using digital tools and skill sets to bring in more customers. So I believe in many ways, COVID has accelerated digital in every industry. I don't care if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, if you do landscaping, doesn't matter. It's all about digital now, and it's all about being found. And I think in many ways, we can blame our cell phones. Our cell phones have changed everything because, especially during the pandemic, our phones were everything. We were doing FaceTime, we were doing Google Duo on our phones, video call. We were ordering services from our phone, ordering food and supplies and everything. And guess what? I think your customers have been trained now. They're being trained to interact more and more with technology. So when they're using Google, when they're using other products and services, they're being trained how to use digital technology. And I believe now they expect the same thing from your company. So what does that mean? In many ways, they expect your company, and they don't care if you're big or you're small. They expect you to act like their cell phone. And what does that mean? These cell phones are making everybody even more narcissistic. We were already all about ourselves, but I believe cell phones have heightened that. Why? Because our cell phones, one, they're always on. They're always available. They're all about us. They're about our notifications. They're about catering to us. They're about our pictures, our videos, everything. And guess what? Your customers want your business to be the same way. They want your business to be always available, always there, and all about them. And I believe that's where Google and that's where digital skill sets come in handy, because primarily now the first interaction somebody has with your business is not going to be in person. It's going to be through their cell phone. It's going to be them on the computer finding you. So having that first impression be a quality one is so important. And once again, your customers are now being trained. They're being trained to deal with companies that are digital savvy. So if your company wants to thrive and survive, you have to also be digital savvy as well. So let me slow down some. I get a little excited because I love digital marketing technology, but let's slow down a little bit here. So once again, this webinar, and we could have this webinar every week. This webinar is all about you. It's about you understanding, you learning about digital skill sets, and also me answering your questions. So one thing I want to start now, if you ever have a question about digital marketing, digital skills, something I said or I missed, or a question about anything, type those questions in the comment box, and I'll be sure to stop and answer each one of those questions. Because I think what's happening now, everybody is used to being on video calls now, on webinars, and I don't want to be one of those presenters that just talks and reads slides. No, I want this webinar to be interactive. I want to have a conversation. I really want to embrace you as community. So once again, any questions you have about anything I say, or any question that is playing your business that's so part of digital or digital marketing, feel free to type those questions in the chat box, and I'll be sure to stop and respond directly to your question. All right. I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. Customers are demanding that your business is digital savvy. If not, they will find another business. Let me repeat that. Okay, I see somebody here says yes to community. Yeah, you got it. And I mean, even about this webinar and even about your business, building a business in many ways is building a community, because once you find people that have the same interests, that have the same needs and wants, you build a community. So think about Amazon, think about Starbucks, think about any large brand out there. There's a community that's built around that brand, and through that community you come together, and ultimately you make sales as well. We have a few more comments here. Joy says, let's go. Yeah, thank you, Joy. Question here says, share 5 things to do to communicate that your business digital savvy. Yeah, that's a quick question. So what does digital savvy mean? So I think the first thing is having a website. That is the minimum you need for your business. You need to have a website. So if you don't have a website, we'll talk later about how to get one set up. Not this webinar, but in another training. But having a website is number one key. I would say number two is social media. Now, I'm not saying you have to be on every network, you have to be on every platform. No, but find the ones that work with you. So if that's Facebook, if that's being on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, you need to be active on social media. The next thing I'll say, point three, digital savvy, I would say is accepting digital payments. You'd be surprised. There are so many companies that don't accept digital payments. So I think that is huge. So using PayPal, using other services to accept digital payments is really key. I think that's three. Let's see, four and five. You're testing me here. I think four in five would be um, you know, I think whatever your industry is, whatever your target is, for every industry, there's certain apps that are very important. So if you're a restaurant, you want to be on DoorDash, you want to be on Order Up, these different platforms. So I would say, depending on what industry we're in, finding out what app, what platform is big in the industry, and make sure that you're on that app. And I would say number five is just always be learning, always be growing. Because myself, I'm in digital, and digital changes every single day. So I think one thing you can do as a business owner is to always be in a mode of learning, always be looking to update your website or social media or how you interact with your customers. I think those are some of the ways that you can be digital savvy, because once again, customers want that. And digital savvy is a buzzword. It's not about digital savvy. It's about doing the things that your customers like. And I think customers are now are showing in resounding numbers, resounding ways that they love technology. They love cell phones. They love social media. So as a company, it makes sense for you to do those things that your customers are spending more time on. Yvette says, "Good morning. Good morning, Yvette. Thanks for joining us." Let's see. We got a question here. Let's pull it up. I'm not sure why my questions are showing black. That's a little strange. Let me see if I can change that so we can all see those questions. So give me 1 second. Should be showing a white. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Got a long one. It says, we are not a super social at the moment, but when we ever have some ask about our brand, I can direct them to my website. It changes the conversation when I say I have digital home. Yeah, you're right. Social media is a great tool, but at the bare minimum, you have to have that website. Because you know I love what you said in your comments, because in many ways, your website is your digital home. It all starts with your website. Social media now gets so much buzz because it's exciting. You see the celebrities with 10,000 views and likes and 20 million followers, and that's great. But it all starts with your website. So your website, is that feeder to social media, is that feeder to your email marketing, your whole company. So the first step, you got it, is having that digital presence. So let's get back to the slides here. I have a question here from, let's see, LSC Designs. And let's see, how do you list your business on Google in multiple zip codes? Good question. It really depends what kind of business you have. Um, the best way to list it in multiple zip codes is by using a tool that I love, Google My Business. We'll talk more about that in other webinars. But Google My Business is a great tool and a great way to list that. Normally, you can have one location, one zip code. But if you have multiple stores or multiple locations, then you can put in multiple zip codes, and through that way, you can then begin to list it in additional locations. One thing I'll add too, when you do go to Google My Business, normally you can set a radius of how far your business will reach. So let's say you're in Texas and you're just in Dallas. You can extend that radius to be in Dallas. You can extend that radius to be, let's say, 200 miles out. So that's one thing. If you have a Google My Business profile, look at that. You can put in different zip codes, and also you can expand your radius so your company will show up in more listings. So thanks for that question. And once again, keep the questions coming because this is all about you. It's not about me. It's about answering your questions. So keep those questions coming. Okay. So let's pause real quick. So once again, I'm all about having a community. I'm all about having interactivity. So if this webinar so far is helpful, I want you to type 5 in the chat box. If this webinar is okay, type in 0. So if this webinar is helpful, type in 5. If it's so, type in 0. Let's see how I'm doing. Oh, I see a lot of fives here. Okay, got a 5. Got a 5. Oh, and the 5. Anybody else? Frederick, thank you for that 5. Hey, Joy, 5. 5. Hey, this is good. I like this. Normally I get a few 4s and maybe 3s, but all 5. So great. Let's keep this webinar moving. Oh, Queen, thank you. Another 5. Great. Thank you. So many 5s. All right. Appreciate it. All right, moving on to the next one. So I say in many ways now, your digital presence is the new credit score. And what do I mean by digital presence? So when somebody goes onto Google and they type in your name or the name of your business, what do they see? What did they see? Do they see a lot of random listings? Or are they seeing your company website? Are they seeing you on social media? Are they seeing you on YouTube? What do you see? So just bought a car recently, and buying a car, one of the things is you're graded off your credit score, and the higher your credit score, the more trust a lender has to give you money. And now it's the same way for your customers. If your customers go online, they type in your name, they type in your website, they don't find one, or they find a poor one that's old and hasn't been updated in 8 months in a year. Guess what? In their mind, you have a low credit score, and they can say, you know what? I'm not going to choose that company. I'm going to hit the back button, go back to Google search, and find a company that looks better. So, the old saying that, don't judge a book by its cover? That's not true. Let me say it again. That's not true. Your customers, they are judging you by the way you look. So you can be the greatest company in the world, have the greatest service, the greatest products, be the sweetest person in the world, have the best pricing. Guess what? If those people do not trust you, if they are not impressed by your digital presence online, they're not going to call you. And guess what? If they do call you, they're going to be second guessing you. They're going to be asking all these questions. You don't want that. What you want to do is you want to have a profile online, a presence that blows somebody out the water. When they type in that phrase, that term, they find your website and they say, "Wow, this is the person. This is the business that I want to choose." Sweet Success Bakery says, "I don't trust any business that don't have an online presence." You got it. If you don't have an online presence, we don't trust you. We don't know who you are. So having online presence is key. At the bare minimum, having a website. Why? Because people want to make sure they know who you are. And, you know, as much as I love digital technology now, let's face it, there's a lot of scammers out here and a lot of things are not good. So online, right now is great. Right now you can see me, you can hear me. So hopefully you trust me right now. But most companies, you can't see somebody talking. All you're seeing is a website, some text, some pictures, a video. You don't know who's on the end of that business. But the more credibility, the more links you have about your business that tell you who you are, and the customer's mind say, wow, that's a real person I can trust, and I want to do business with them. So once again, your digital presence is a new credit score. That is the tool that potential customers are using to measure to say, hey, I want to use this business or I don't want to use this business. So driving the point home more, a strong digital presence. What does it do? It's trustworthy. it's authoritative, and most importantly, it's credible. That is so important. You want to build that trustworthy. You want to build that authoritative nature, saying, "Hey, you're a leader in your field. You know what you're doing. I want to use you." And most importantly, you want to build that credibility, because if you don't have that, they're not going to choose you. Got a few questions here. Soft and beautiful. I'm sorry, soft and naturally beautiful. Okay. Says, I have a website and social media, but it's not coming up online. What do I need to do about that? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure why exactly it's not coming up. Um, if you want to drop your website or your company name, your website in the link comment box, and at the webinar, I'll go to your site and see what's going on and get back to you. But it could be a few things. If you have a really new website, it might not be viewed in Google yet. Google takes some time, a little bit, to get around a new website. So it could be a new website. You could have a name of business that's very generic, like if you're ABC Accounting, there's probably a million of those, and that way you're not going to show up. Next, I would say is focus on expanding your website. If your website is a page or two, you're probably not going to get listed. But if you have a blog, if you're adding pages to your website, there's more chance that you get found. For social media, that's strange. Once again, social media, you normally show up pretty fast. So I would say make sure that your social media handle or your name you have really describes what your business is. And even on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, be sure to go out to your social media profile. And this is a big mistake a lot of people make. Fill out your profile completely. So put in your name, put in your business address, your email, your website, your phone number, so on. So the more information you fill out on your website, your profile, I think it's going to increase your chances of getting found. So I hope that helped. Had a few more questions here. Let's see, the right choice financial and tax services. It says, will we get an opportunity to view a real profile as an example? Maybe show areas of improvement or focus. I wouldn't mind volunteering. Yeah, we can do that. I didn't plan to do that today, but if you want to share your web address with me, I can pull up on the screen and we can kind of go through kind of what some of those mean. But today I really didn't want to just establish a foundation. Really just to let you know what are the things you need to be visible online. But we can do a live demo. Just drop your business name or your LinkedIn address, and I'll be nice, but we can pull it off and do a live audit. Another comment here says credible and authoritative. You got it. It's all about that. Building up that credibility is how you go to get more business and more customers for your business. All right. So earlier we had a question: what was digital savvy? So this is my digital skills circle. What are the things that your business needs online to really grow? So once again, the first thing is a website. You need to have a website because that website is the home base for your business. It's the one thing you own. As cool as social media is, you don't own social media. At any time, Elon Musk, the new owner of Twitter, Mark Zuckerberg, anybody, they can change the algorithm. Social media can go down tomorrow. And what are you going to do? So your website, you own that. You pay for that. You can choose how it's viewed. So you want to have a website because you own that website and it doesn't change. And many times the website is the first listing that's going to come up for your business. So you type in your business name, you see your listing on Google and on um, Facebook, Instagram, but normally your website is that first link. So having a good website is the first one. Next is search. Once again, search engine optimization is so important. That's basically a big term that says, hey, when I type in your name or your category within Google, what comes up? You want to make sure your business can be found there. Excuse me. Next, email marketing is so key. Email marketing is one of the older tools, but we'll talk about it later. It's so powerful to show up in your customer's email box. Next is social media. You have to be on there. I'm sorry, you have to be on a network. It doesn't have to be every network, but you need to be on the networks that make sense for your business and your industry. So, Instagram, yes. LinkedIn, yes. Facebook, Twitter, yes, and so on. And I always say too, it's better to be on one platform and be active and opposed to being on every new platform out there and posting once a week or once every 6 months. So I would say social media, find a platform that works for your business, find a platform that works for your industry, and dominate that platform. For me, that platform hands down is LinkedIn. Facebook is great. Um, LinkedIn is great as well. Instagram is okay. But for me, the money for my business and what I do, talking to other business owners, comes from LinkedIn. So saying that, I post on LinkedIn 3 to 5 times a week. Why? Because that's the network that really works for me. So find the network that works for you and make sure you're on there. Next is video. And we'll talk about video more later, but now, look at me. This is a video. This is a live stream. You can see me, you can hear me, you can see my suit, my background, everything. So, I talked about building credibility. I believe one of the fastest ways to build credibility online is video. Why? Because there's not a guess of who I am. You can see me, you can hear me, you can see the passion in my eyes, you can hear the passion in my voice. So, for your business, you need to have video. It can be a short video explaining your products or your services. That can be going live on Facebook or Instagram or whatever service you use or LinkedIn. But video is so key because it adds that credibility. People are tired of reading pages and pages of context. If they can feel you, if they can hear you, man, credibility goes through the roof. So we're going to talk about ways through this whole webinar series about how to use video to build credibility. Next is mobile. It's key. And I'll say once again, cell phones have changed everything right now. So you have to be available via mobile. And it's not a choice anymore. People are mobile. They're not sitting at home on their desktops or laptops. They're out and about living their lives. And guess what? When they want to do a Google search for a business, they pull up their phone. Directions, their phone. The book an appointment, their phone. To send an email, their phone. Social media, their phone. So you want to make sure that you're on all those platforms that I spoke about because all of those are accessible primarily through your phone. And also, once again, it's so important because why? It's all about being accessible. It's all about being right there. So your business has to have a website, social media, all of that. Why? Because primarily that cell phone is probably going to be the first interaction they have with your business. Got a question here. It says live streaming for the win. Yes, we can see your face. Fast way to build and likes and trust. Yeah, I agree. Live streaming webinars are awesome because this is not scripted. I'm just passionate about this. I'm just talking. You can hear my passion. You can see me as well. So yeah, that is awesome. Thanks for those comments. And once again, we about have a half hour left here. But once again, keep those questions coming, and I'll be sure to respond to those. So let's keep moving. So why is it so important to be on Google? One, because if you can't be found online, your business is slowly dying. I'll say this really quickly. So, a few years ago, it was optional. You could be online or not, have a website or not. But now it is a standard. You have to be online. And word of mouth works still, but it's not sustainable. You need something to aid that. And that's what being online does. And the funny thing is, even when somebody recommends a lawyer or doctor to me, it's still the first thing I do is what? I Google that doctor or lawyer and see the reviews and learn more about them. So even still, if you're still dealing with word of mouth, a way to bolster that is having an online presence, because if you're not, you're slowly dying, because this world is getting more and more digital. It's not going back. Things are only going forward and getting more digital. Um, so I say this a lot, but don't fear digital. I'll say it again, don't fear digital. And I think as business owners, that keeps us back a lot of time from exploring digital skills is the fear. I'll tell you that digital is not hard. It's not complex. You're not going to break anything, and it's not even expensive. It's really, really simple. But the point of this whole webinar series that I'm doing is about breaking down a lot of those fears. I think we don't do a lot of things as business owners because we don't understand it. But the more you understand it, don't be fearful. Digital skills, digital marketing are tools that can only help aid your business. Being online is not going to hurt your business. It's only going to help your business. Having video, social media, all those things are only going to help your business. So once again, don't be fearful of digital skill sets or marketing. No, these are tools that are only going to help you. And I'll say this. This is a big one here. Okay. Google is the most affordable, effective, targeted, trackable way to market your business. All right. So if you are running a small business or even a big business, and you're looking for the best way to invest your marketing dollars and spends, it's going to be on Google. Google is so affordable. For a few $100s a month, you can run an ad on Google Ads or Google My Business and get real results. And that's it's effective. Like digital marketing works. Being on Google works. Being on Google is going to get more business for you. It's just that simple. So yes, people are using Google products every single day for all sorts of things. So it's effective. Next, it's targeted. The thing I love about Google's products, whether it's my business, whether it's AdWords, whether it's being found in search, it's targeted. You can drill down on exactly the customer that you want to target. Going back to the question earlier, you can even choose a radius of what services areas that you want to show up in. You can't do that with other marketing. TV, radio is expensive, it's stiff, you can't switch it. But using Google and their digital tools and skill sets, wow, you can do so much so easily. And to finish it off, it's the best way to market your business. Once again, I'll say this. The number one search engine in the world is Google. The number two search engine in the world is YouTube. They are both owned by Google. So by being on Google's tools and services, you're allowing your business to be seen by the most people possible at the lowest, cheapest cost. There's no other medium out here that's offering you the kind of exposure that Google is going to offer. So that's why you have to be on Google, because it works and it's just great for your business. So what it comes down to is Google is going to increase clicks to your website and calls to your business. So that's why you want to really embrace Google's tools and skills. Why? Because you want more sites, more clicks to your website, more clicks to your social media profiles, and so on. And you want more calls for your business. People saying, hey, I want to buy your product or service, or even emails. The way to get more emails about your business is by being on Google. These are the things that, will sustain your business. Once again, being more visible, the more eyeballs you have on your company, income, revenue is going to increase. Why? Because you're making more sales, because you're being exposed to more people. So this really brings it home here. So 1.9 billion monthly direct connections are driven by Google. 1.9 billion monthly connections driven by Google. So what does that mean? That means searches. That means somebody looking up an email address or a phone number. That means somebody using Google My Business and coming to your business that way. 1.9 billion. people are using Google to find companies. So it's kind of simple. If you want to be found, get on Google, use their products and services, and that way people will see you and they will come to your business. It's just that simple. Got a comment here. It says, yes, it says nice presentation. I'm happy to be part of it. Well, I'm happy to have you here. So let's keep those questions coming and let's move on with the rest of the webinar. So I say this always, don't be Blockbuster. And if you're an old guy like me, well, I'm not that old, but if you're old, if you're an old guy like me, you remember Blockbuster. And quickly, Blockbuster was the king of the block a while ago, back in the late 90s or 2000s. You wanted a video, you went to Blockbuster. But we all know the story. What happened? Blockbuster, they they fell off. Why? Because they ignored technology. Don't do that. They said, hey, who's going to come in the store? People like coming in the store and ordering a video, getting videotapes. Who's going to sit home and go to stream DVDs and order movies? Nobody. But guess what? Blockbuster was wrong. And they made two mistakes that I don't want you to make. What they did simply was they ignored technology and they ignored their customers. And now, there's only one Blockbuster left in the world. It's not even a real store, it's more of like a pop culture thing. But once again, ignoring technology is how you go out of business. So don't ignore technology. All the tools that we're talking about every week that Grow with Google offers, they are going to grow your business. Companies go out of business. Why? Because they ignore technology. But it's bigger than that. Ignoring technology is one thing, but it's about ignoring your customers. Your customers are telling you what they want. And they're saying, once again, in resounding ways, we love technology, we love digital skills. So, to continue to communicate with those customers effectively, you need to be digital savvy. It's not a option, it is a must, it is a requirement. Question here from LSC Designs. Can you show us how to Google my business effectively? I've Googled my business, but it's not set up right. Yeah, we could do an activity later where I'm gonna do a demo search, and we'll talk more about it then. Next question from Joy says, I'm curious to know when I get a phone call from telemarketers saying that I want to move my business listing up on Google, is that a scam? Yes, that is a scam. Google will not call you. If they do call you, it's a call to verify your business. Normally giving you a code, but people are always scamming about Google My Business. If somebody comes to you and say, hey, we can pay to do this, we can get negative reviews removed to do that, it's a scam. Don't waste your time with those people because they know it's a scam because they know the Google works. And so they're trying to get on that same bandwagon. So yes, those calls that come through promising you that you can gain position, all that stuff, those are scams. Just ignore those. So I want you to be more like Netflix. And when I say be like Netflix, they get technology. And that's how they're staying in line with their customers. Or think about the thing now in videos, shows, and movies. Everything is streaming now. Why? Because companies are realizing that consumers are changing and they're doing things that match the way the customers are changing. So once again, be that forward-thinking company. Think about ways you can use technology to keep up with your customers. And one of those ways is by being digital savvy. All right, so we could do a quick activity right now. So if you're on your cell phone, your laptop, your iPad, do me a quick favor. I want you to go to google.com and in the search box, I want you to type the name of your business or the category. So if you're J&J Flowers, type in J&J Flowers and we'll find out. Or type in the location. So type in like florist in Jacksonville, Florida, and let's see what comes up. Excuse me. So quickly, do a search within your Google in Google for your business or for your name and see what comes up. And I'm saying do this because this is what your customers see when they type in your name, when they type in your business. And this is the point where a lot of potential customers are even won or they're lost. So quickly, I want you to go to Google and just type in a search and tell me what you see. Tell me if this is a good um, presence you're giving off or is it a bad one. And we'll talk more about that. And so while waiting, I'll pull up Google on my end and let's just type in my name and see what comes up. Sterling McKinley. Okay. Let's say enter and let's see what comes up. Okay, so what do you see? You see a lot of things about me, and you're seeing that on purpose because I've taken the time to set it up. So you're seeing my website here, and look, I got on the same suit in these pictures. That's once again that's my branding. My thing is wearing suits. So no matter what you see me online, me speaking, I'm gonna be in a suit. Maybe this suit. We'll see next what happens next one. You see my LinkedIn profile here. You see me on Facebook, Instagram. You see me on Twitter. Uh, I was speaking at this conference. You see my book on Amazon. You see me on YouTube. You see me on more websites again and again. So guess what? As soon as you type my name in on Google, instantly you're saying, "Hey, this guy is real. This guy is credible." And it took me a while to understand this, but it really is about visuals, how you look. That first interaction is going to be through digital, through Google. It has to be interaction that is, building credibility in your brand. On here on this side, you see, once again, my picture. You see my book. You see my links on Instagram and Twitter. If we go over to, excuse me, on YouTube, you see more videos of me talking as well, building that credibility. So now that you've taken that time, um, tell me how you feel when you look at your online presence. What does it say about your business, about your brand? So quickly, just type in the chat box. How do you feel about what you saw online about your brand? I'll wait a few minutes for some responses. So tell me what you feel after typing in the name of your business. What did you see that you like what you saw? Let's talk about that. Don't be afraid to share anybody. Or earlier someone said this, if you have a business you want me to look up, just type in the name of your business. We'll do a search and I'll do a live audit and I will tell you what I see. So let's see, we have a comment here from LSC Designs. She says, I saw my website, I didn't see my social media links. Yeah, that's really, really funny. I was saying make sure that you list your the name of your business that you're typing on Google. Make sure that the name of your social media profile is the same. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook, LinkedIn, make sure the name matches. That way you should show up. Let me do a quick search for LCS Designs and see what I see. That's the name of your business, correct? Um, Okay, well, yeah, I see your you sell jewelry. I see that, and I see you on Instagram as well. So yeah, I'm not sure why you're not coming out. Let's take a look at it real quick. So yeah, LCS Designs. I see your website here, and I see you on Instagram and on Facebook as well. So that's good. Let's go back here to some of the comments. Says I typed in my business and I saw a lot of old stuff that isn't relevant anymore. Yeah, it can be removed, but it only be removed if it's out of date. There's a website you can do for that. Let's see. I think remove. Let me give you the web address real quick. There's a way you can do that, and you can do it through Google. Let's see what it's called. Do this. Just Google in Google, remove outdated links, and from there it'll take you to a support forum, and you can like put in links why it's outdated, and they should remove that for you. It takes only about 2 weeks, but just Google how to remove old links, and those will be removed for you. Vanessa says, my criminal background check pops up. How can I change that? I work at 15 years old. I know. Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe more of legal. I'm not sure, but I'll say this. If anybody has any negative links that you don't like, bad reviews, anything, the best way to push down negative reviews or listings is to add positive listings. So once again, having your website, being on social media, having a blog, all these things, open up more links you can, and that's going to push down a lot of those negative results you don't want to see. So um, you can do the same thing, Vanessa. I would say Google how to remove old links and try to have that removed. If not, just try to add more links to Google to push down that information. So you can try that. Yvette says my web presence is good. Google My Business sends people to the wrong address. Yeah, you want to change that. So if you go into your Google My Business profile, there's an area known where you can change the address. So make sure that you log in and you change that. And that's one thing too. You know, you may have a good web presence, but you want to do a search every so often to make sure that the information is accurate, that it's not going to the wrong phone number or the wrong address. So yeah, log in to your I'm sorry, log into your Google My Business and try to correct that. Okay, so yeah, that activity, I like it for two reasons because you get to see what the customer sees, and it's all about seeing your business from the customer standpoint. So periodically do that. Type in terms and phrases that describe your business and see what comes up because that's what your customer's seeing. And if you don't like what you're seeing, then take the steps to make sure that you change those listings or what's coming up or what's not coming up. So, going back to my search for my name, is you want to dominate the first page of Google for your business. And that's what I try to do over the years of my listing. So, once again, going back to my name, you type in my name, all you're seeing, every link is me, over and over again. You want to dominate that first page. So when somebody comes to Google and they do a search, all they're seeing is you over and over again. That's the goal. It takes a while, but you want to dominate Google for your name or for your company or even your category because that is how you really master, I would say, Google. When somebody types in, they're seeing you first. That's what you want. But you only get there by, having a website, having, social media links, creating content. That's the way you get there. But you want to dominate that first page of Google because the next thing is that people really only look at the first few links. After that, they kind of sign off. So you want to make sure that you're dominating those first few links and definitely dominating the first um, page of Google. Good question. Says, how did you get your profile on the right side? So yeah, that is called. I'm going black now. Um, that's called. I'm going blank now. Not Google profile. Um, what is it called? Um, you got me now. I'm going blank. Let me think about what the name is really quick. Let me Google it before I forget. Um, yeah, but it's a really cool tool that really builds a lot of credibility. And it's a great way, to have your business pop up on the side. And you see a lot of like stars, celebrities, people that have yes, it's called a knowledge panel. Okay, and it's pretty easy to set up. It's like setting up a social media profile, but they ask you for you to send in, I think, a copy of your address and maybe your license, because it's kind of like being verified in a sense. So on social media, you can have uh, that checkbox that says this is verified. It's the same way on on Google. So having a knowledge profile right here, it's called a knowledge profile. That is the way that you can really kind of own your presence or say, I am who I am. So um, that's a next level thing, but you want to do that because you want to own your name, own your presence online. One of the tip that I would give you is also take a few dollars, go and buy a domain name, buy your domain name. So I own my name. I own sterlingmckinley.com. So anytime somebody does a search for Sterling McKinley, they're going to see that address. Why? Because that's what they're searching. So that's kind of a hack. Not only have your website for your business, but also have a personal website address. And even if that website address is not active, you can forward that address to your uh, business website. Once again, because people are going to type in your name, you connect that to your website, or you can connect that address um, to your LinkedIn profile. And once again, they're pretty cheap. Might cost you $9, $10 a year, but buy your name. So I own sterlingmckinley.com, and I've owned that name for years now. I mean, 12 years easily. So definitely do that. All right, so we are actually all done once again. So yeah, that was a good first webinar. Once again, thank you for all your questions and all your comments. We have a few minutes left, about 7 minutes left. So before I close out and give you a few resources, anybody have any questions on anything I said? If you do, now's the time to ask those questions. And before we close out, I will be sure to answer those questions. So, um, any questions about digital marketing in general, digital skills? Any questions about how Google works? Ask those questions now, and I'll be sure to pause and answer those questions. But yeah, today was a really good, I think, start. I really wanted us to lay the foundation of what is Google and how is it awesome. It's an awesome program, but more importantly, the importance of being on Google, because I think as people, as business owners, when we truly know how something is important is, then it has priority in our mind, in our day. And I'll just tell you, I mean, being on Google is very important for the health of your business and for the long term success. So having a website, being on Google My Business, having a knowledge panel, and all the things you talked about are very important because they build um, uh, credibility for your business. Question here, Vanessa: does Google have grants for small business owners and efficient? Yes, there's a program actually called Google Grants. So if you just Google that Google Grants on Google, it'll come up and it'll tell you how you can take part of those small business grants. I'm not sure about inventions, but once again, there is something that Google Grants is something that exists. So just type in Google Grants and you can learn more about some of their programs. Last call for questions. Getting ready to end. Any more questions? Yeah, great question. Is there a Grow with Google training program with steps to follow? Yeah, great question. So, today's webinar, I'm just kind of giving, supplementing what they do, but yeah, let's go to, um, so yeah, so right here, if you can see my screen, if you go to grow.com/grow, Google has a whole list of different video, different walkthroughs about how you can use digital skills to make more money for your business. So do that. Once again, go to google.com/grow, and there's complete trainings online that are free about ways that you can build your business. So also, if anybody wants more webinars, more events, the US Black Chambers, they're the thing. They're it. We have trainings on everything. So not only Google and digital, but finance and operations, all that. If you visit usblackchambers.org, there's a listing of all upcoming webinars and events. You can learn more about Google Grow by doing that, and also some of their other programs. Also, if you came in late or if you miss anything I said, this webinar is live right now on YouTube, on Facebook, and on LinkedIn. So if you go back to the US Black Chambers page on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, you will see a recording of this and other past webinars. So you can replay and watch these all in over again. Question from Queen says, how is it important? Is it important to purchase Google Ads? Yes, it can be. Once again, because with Google Ads, you show up higher in Google search. So if you're a new company or very competitive, it's a way that you can get more views for your business. I will say you have to be very, I guess, careful when doing Google Ads. Make sure that you have the targeting set up correctly. And once again, that's a whole different webinar. So we'll talk more about that later on. But yeah, it is an important part in Google, especially if you have the money, because Google Ads kind of work with regular listings as well. So once again, you're dominating that first page of Google. So Google Ads, yes, can be very important. Um, the right choice says I didn't see part two listed. Um, will I be able to register? How can I? Yeah, I'm not sure why it didn't show up. That should be posting soon. I'll just say visit our Eventbrite page or visit usblackchambers.org, and there is a listing of upcoming webinars. It should be coming up soon, so check back. I would say in a few minutes for that sign up. So yeah, let's close today. And once again, thank you for your time. Excuse me. I hope you found this webinar insightful. So one last thing again, I'm really big on feedback. So I want to know how I did. If this was a great webinar, give me a 5. If this was so, give me a 0. So before we go, if you enjoyed the webinar, give me a 5. If it was so, give me 0. I'm hoping for all 5s again. Okay, we got a 5. Thank you. Appreciate that. We got Phil. We got Vanessa. We got Frederick. All right. All right, great. Thank you for your time. And once again, this is a series of workshops. We're going to have more next week as well, diving into those different digital skill sets and digital marketing topics. So, once again, thank you for your time, and I will see you again next week.